This is Loveless by Oseman. Part 1. Ignore the background noise. Last chance. There were literally 3 separate couples sitting around the fire making out, like some sort of organized kissing orgy, and half of me was like, ew, and the other half was like, wow, I sure do wish that was me. To be fair, it's probably what I should have expected from our prom after party. I don't go to parties very often. I hadn't been aware this was actually the culture. I retreated from the fire pit and headed back towards Hattie Jorgensen's giant country house, holding up my prom dress in one hand so I didn't trip, and dropped Pip a message. George War. I could not approach the fire and retrieve the marshmallows because there were people kissing around it. Felipa Quintana? How could you betray and disappoint me like this, Georgia War? Do you still love me, or is this the end? When I entered the kitchen and located Pip, she was leaning against a corner cupboard with a plastic cup full of wine in one hand and her phone in the other. Her tie was half tucked into her shirt pocket. Her burgundy velvet blazer was now unbuttoned, and her short curls were fluffy and loose, no doubt due to all the dancing at prom. You okay? I asked. Might be a tad drunk, she said, her tortoiseshell glasses slipping down her nose. And also, I do fucking love you. More than marshmallows? How could you ask me to make such a choice? I slung my arm around her shoulders and we leaned back together against the kitchen cupboards. It was almost midnight. Music was thumping from Hattie's living room, and the sound of our classmates chatting and laughing and shouting and screaming resonated from every corner of the building. There were 3 separate couples making out around the fire, I said, like in unison. Kinky, said Pip. I sort of wished I was one of them. She gave me a look. Ew. I just want to kiss someone, I said, which was odd because I wasn't even drunk. I was driving and Jason was home later. I was driving Pip and Jason home later. Okay. We can make out if you want. That wasn't what I had in mind. Well, Jason's been single for a few months now. I'm sure he'd be up for it. Shut up. I'm serious. I was serious. I really, really wanted to kiss someone. I wanted to feel a little bit of prom night magic. Tommy then, said Pip, raising an eyebrow and smiling evilly. Maybe it's time to confess. I'd only ever had a crush on one person. His name was Tommy. He was the hot boy of our school year. The one who could actually have been a model if he wanted. He was tall and skinny and conventionally attractive in a Timothée Chalamet sort of way. Though I don't really understand why everyone was so in love with Timothée Chalamet. I had a theory that a lot of people's celebrity crushes were faked just to fit in. Tommy had been my crush ever since I was in year 7, and a girl had asked me, who do you think is the hottest boy at German? She'd shown me a photo of her phone of a group of the most popular year 7 boys at the school. I could tell he was the most attractive one. I mean, he had hair like a boy band star and was dressed pretty fashionably. So I pointed to him, and I guess that was that. Almost 7 years later, I'd never actually talked to Tommy. I'd never even really wanted to, probably because I was shy. He was more of an abstract concept. He was hot, and he was my crush. and nothing was going to happen between us, and I was perfectly fine with that. I snorted at Pip. Obviously not Tommy. Why not? You like him. The thought of actually following through on a crush made me feel extremely nervous. I shrugged at Pip and she dropped the discussion. Pip and I started to walk out the kitchen, arms still slung around each other, and into the hallway of Hattie's Jorgensen, fancy country home. People were slumped on the floor into the corridor in their prom dresses and tuxes, cups and food scattered around them. 2 people were kissing on the stairs, and I looked at them for a moment, unsure whether it was disgusting or whether it was the most romantic thing I'd ever seen in my life. Probably the former. You know what I want? Pip said as we stumbled into Hattie's conservatory and collapsed onto a sofa. What? I said. I want someone to spontaneously perform a song to declare their love for me. What song? She gave this some thought. Your song from Moulin Rouge, she sighed. God, I am sad, gay, and alone. Solid song choice, but not sustainable for a kiss. Pip rolled her eyes. If you want to kiss someone that much, just go talk to Tommy. You've liked him for 7 years. This is your last chance before we go to uni. She might have a point. If it was going to be anyone, it was going to be Tommy. But the idea filled me with dread. I folded my arms. Maybe I could kiss a stranger instead. Fuck off. I'm serious. No, you're not. You're not like that. You don't know what I'm like. Yes, I do, said Pip. I know you more than anyone. She was right. About knowing me and about me not being like that. And about tonight being my last chance to confess the crush I'd had for 7 years, and the last chance to kiss someone while I was still a school kid, while I had a chance to feel teenage dream excitement and youthful magic that everyone else seemed to have had a little taste of. It was my last chance to feel that. So maybe I would have to bite the bullet and kiss Tommy after all. That's part 1. A little, I guess. Okay, there's so much happening in the background, but I'm creating this channel so I can read more, but also because I sometimes have a hard time focusing, and I think it's easier to have people read to me. And I know audiobooks aren't always the most accessible, so, you know, I'm gonna read this, and if there's like one person who likes it, then I guess that's good. Bye.